see who puts up a better fight than our boy Korean Zombie put up against Max Holloway.
He did.
I'm not your guy. I'm not your guy, Chin.
He did well, man.
He did well.
Yeah.
It was very, if you're going to go out on your shield, it's very Korean Zombie. Yeah. He went kamikaze pilot in that third round.
He really did, man.
Because the first 2 rounds, he landed some good shots. He landed a really good hook on Max Holloway. Shows you Max Holloway's chin. Obviously, Max Holloway dealing with a lot with the fires out there in Maui in his home state of Hawaii. So heavy heart for Max Holloway going into the fight. Significant favorite for good reason. It's insane the career these two have had that they've never crossed paths till now. You know, it sucks for Korean Zombie. Obviously, he's on the, on the back 9 of his life. When I say back 9, he's on hole 18.
But all the fights he gave us, it was
Golf
such
reference.
it was such a beautiful thing. The audience, how much they cared, how much they loved him.
What's weird,
insane.
and you'll see this, like if you watch One Championship, if you watch a lot of Asian kind of fights, right? So even the Pride Days in One Championship, Ryzen, the crowds aren't as crunk as American or European crowds. They're just not. They're more calculated, they're more reserved, they're more students of the game. They enjoy jiu-jitsu, they enjoy the ground game, they see the sweet science with all of it. It's rare they boo. They don't really boo people. That's not what they do. They're good people. They're good, respectable people. You're not going to hear rip his hat off. You're not going to hear punch or twist his wiener off, stuff like that. Not in the Asian crowds, because they're respectable people. You're not going to see a lot of tap out shirts. You're just not. But for Max Holloway, Korean Zombie, I don't think Max Holloway hasn't had a knockout since 2018. But yeah, this was the matchup. If you're going to get a knockout, this would be the one. Korean Zombie was doing well. It didn't look bad. It didn't look like a guy, there's guys like when you see Tony Ferguson, you see the BJ Penns of the world, Diego Sanchez, when they're at that point in their career, you're like, oh, this is a nightmare. They just look completely off. I thought Korean Zombie looked pretty damn good. Pretty damn good, especially for going out on a shield. First 2, and he would definitely have the flashes of the old Korean Zombie, would sit there and bang, and him and Max would go at it. Max just a little quicker, a little more calculated, a little more technical, would always win in the exchanges. And then in the third round, I don't know if there's some button they push in the corner or what, but they're like, it's time to go zombie mode. It's time to go zombie mode.
I think Zombie pushed that button. He was like, this is it.
He's like, I'm going to knock him out or get knocked out.
And it was beautiful to watch.
It was. That's how it should go for him.
Yeah.
He went off in a shield. How great of an intro was that when the zombie?
Oh my god! And
when he was walking out,
yelling it out,
he's
so
just
loud.
like this.
Oh my god!
And he gets in there, and I was like, "Oh, that's lit." And the crowd, the energy definitely went up in the arena.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he lost, you're like, "Oh, this is a." I mean, I'm a huge Max Holloway fan. Everyone expect him, including the odds maker, expect him to win. Gets the walk-off home run, KO, right? And then. It was about Max for a little bit. He was talking about Hawaii and donating money and raising money, which God bless him.
Yeah, God bless them.
And then it went over to Korean Zombie, and the crowd just what a send off for the UFC, and they're doing it right now.
Yes,
they've read the comments. They've seen how much backlash they've got. Just whether it's Frank Yeager, whoever it is, these guys, when it's their last fight and they're just not giving proper send off, fans don't like that. You owe it to them. So they did a great job with Robbie Lawler, that video they had for him. And then with Zombie, man, that was special.
Yeah.
And is that his girl who came to him at
his wife.
She's cute, man.
Yeah.
She's crying.
Adorable couple, yeah.
Yeah.
She does not seem like someone that would date or be with a fighter. She seems so innocent.
Yeah.
So that must be super tough for her to be with him and to see all that stuff happen.
See how much Korean Zombie gear was in the crowd, too?
Dude.
I mean, we rocked it all the time, man.
Yes. As long as it... long as we could.
As long as we could.
Yeah, because it was kind of like...
it's heavy.
It's heavy.
Well, I had the original one.
Yeah, the original.
It was by Try Something used to make it.
Oh, the very, very first one.
The very first one. Okay. That was my favorite all time.
Tricosta, I think?
Tricosta.
Yeah.
I used to wear it at the UFC Expo in Boston. I wore that Korean Zombie shirt all the time. It's my favorite shirt. I don't know what happened to it.
Apparently they didn't pay him well for it.
My girl probably gave it away. This is my favorite shirt.
Yeah.
And then Korean Zombie, he knows we're fans.
Jay Park
sent us a bunch of gear. And it was the heaviest, most thick gear you've ever seen. You couldn't wear it today. It's supposed to be 105. You couldn't wear it today.
It looked amazing.
It was bulletproof.
Yeah, it's Kevlar.
It was Kevlar. It was bulletproof. It looked
great though.
Yeah. Yeah, it looked good. I mean, it was same design as it was always, but yeah, they need to switch up the merch there.
Just the material.
Yeah. But yeah, for what's next for Korean Zombie, it's over, right? So he's done. And then for Max Holloway, he's in quite the predicament. He's in quite the pickle here because he's beat everybody in that division who's a contender in the top. Was that top 5 there? So top 4, he's beat everybody, right? So he beat Arnold Allen. He just beat him, who's a raging contender. He's beat Ortega. He's beat Yair Rodriguez, and then he's number 1. Obviously, a 4th fight with Volkanovski. Man, 4th fight's tough sell.
But he did win one. Honestly, he did win one. He didn't get the actual win, but he did win one.
I know, but the argument there would be the last one that they did.
That was pretty crazy.
Really dominated.
Yeah.
That one he made it clear, which is what he needed to do when he's on Food Truck. That's why I told him. I said, listen, I know you beat him twice technically, but you got to get over the Max Holloway hump in order to become the uncrowned champion. You got to. And that's what he did. So a 4th fight I think is tough. 4th fight's tough, not to mention Ilya Topuria is going to get the next shot at the champ there in Volkanovski. So that's not even announced yet, so he's going to have to wait for that, which I don't think he minds. He said he doesn't mind beating up the contenders either. He doesn't mind at all beating up the contenders. Most of at 10, probably the next guy. But for Max, you're number 1. You want to fight the number 10 guy? I don't see much of an upside. And you're just waiting. What the best case scenario for Max? There's 2. What I think there's 2 options. If I'm his management this morning, we're looking at this. You're going, all right. Volkanovski and Ilya Topuria is next. We need Topuria to win. If Topuria wins, then you would fight Ilya. That's a fight. I'd love that fight. Yeah. That's an amazing fight. Chance of Topuria winning, not good. So what if that does? If Volkanovski is who he says he is, he probably beats the shit out of Topuria, right? So you're probably not getting the UFC. Probably not do a 4th fight for you. So do we take 6 to 8 months, put on a little bit of weight, and go? And remember, Max Holloway's older now too. Do we go up to 55? There's fun matchups at 55. Now, as you're listening, you're like, dude, we saw that. Remember he fought Dustin Poirier? He would land a lot, but Poirier just hit harder, so it didn't work out for Max. I get that. But he didn't technically have enough time to put on the size and weight. I'm talking John Jones style. Not 2-3 years, but 8 months, 12 months. Take your time, put on the weight, see how you feel, and then really make a run at 55. Makhachev's a problem for anybody. But there's some fights there. Justin Gaethje would be fun. I'd watch Poirier again. Dariush is a good one. Chandler's a good one. You wouldn't watch Max Holloway versus Fiziev?
That'd be beautiful.
Phenomenal fight. I just think there's more upside, and you're not at his age, and all the fights he's been in, you're not coming down to 45, 55. It's not like he's a small 45er. So I think if you took the time, you get the right team around you, he could have a lot of success at 55. Is he going to become champ? Makhachev's a nightmare for anybody. But there's some fun fights with Charles Oliveira there at 55, Justin Gaethje, Dustin Poirier again, Dariush is fun, Chandler, Fiziev. Those are top 6. Big names, big fights. Or you hang out at 45, you hope Topuria wins, which most likely he's not going to. If he does, all good. Forget this 55 talk. But you can fight Topuria if he beats Volkanovski. It's a big if. And if you don't want to do any of that, you can stick around and fight the young contenders coming up. We saw what he did to Arnold Allen. That fight wasn't close. For the UFC, it's not good either. If he just sits around and beats up these young lions who are kind of the next wave of that division, you don't want Max Holloway to just sit around and be this gatekeeper. He's going to beat all of them. And then you got to hope eventually somebody beats Max or Alex Volkanovski, which they're not going to. So he's in a weird spot.